Hi, this is Max and today I want to create a mixed media card with you. I will use the stamp sets Ornate Collage, Artistic Collage and Eclectric Collage by Tim Holtz, as well as Friends by Hero Arts. I have those stamps for years now, but due to the fact that they are very special, I rarely use them in my projects. And so I was looking for a way to use them that I didn't think of before, and so I came across art journal techniques. Many of the art journal artists are using tissue paper to build a background. So I had the idea to create some of my own, just by using my beloved stamps. Therefore I took a piece of sandwich paper and stamped the non-shiny side, as the ink will stick much better to this side. I have to admit that I'm a kind of a stamp addict. If one catches my eye, I have to get it, irrespective of whether I can really use it or not. So this is a great way of getting them out again and use them on a project. I'm using waterproof ink because the tissue paper will be the background and I will go over it with a lot of other mediums. And waterproof ink will hold the ink from smearing all over the card. It doesn't matter if not all stamped images are equally intensive, as we will anyway fade them out later on. As you can see here, the collage stamps are creating a new, much bigger collage step by step. And here I noticed that two spots are not covered and I had to bring in another stamp to close these gaps. It is the diamond stamp of the Letters Plate collection by Paper Artsy. I used it on both spots as they are small and cannot take the full image. Today's card is a little bit bigger than a standard card. To stick down the tissue paper, I'm using Gel Medium Matte by Liquitex, but it will also do any other of the gel mediums that are on the market. I'm covering the whole front page first with gel medium and then bring on the paper. With my bone folder, I press it onto the card surface to get it smooth and even. And the same needs to be done on the other side. And while everything is drying, take care of your working surface to avoid unintended glue spots to hit your project. The excess can easily be cut off with your scissors. If the card is rolling up a little bit like mine, simply roll the sides back into the other direction to make it even again. As already mentioned, we will fade out the background a little bit, and therefore we are using gesso. I'm simply dropping it onto the card and spread it with a brush. If it might be too thick on some places, just use some water to dissolve it a little bit and work with your brush again. Afterwards let it dry so that we can bring in some color with the distressings. I am using tumbled glass, broken china and chipped sapphire and applying them from light to dark with my blending tool. Some sprinkles of water will help to blend them right as you want it to be. To increase the distressed look of the card, I'm using vintage photo and walnut stain on the edges. First the darker walnut stain on the outside and then blend it into the card with the lighter vintage photo. I am now dabbing some chipped sapphire onto my non-sticky craft sheet and activate it with water. This is used to color the modeling paste I'm using next. As usually, you will find a list of all the supplies that I'm using in the description box below this video. After it is now evenly colored, I apply the paste onto the card with my spatula using a stencil. It is called Dot Fade and is from the Tim Holtz collection by Ranger. As long as the paste is still wet, you can get it off very easily if there might be too much of it at one place. Do not forget to clean up the stencil, because once the paste is dry, it might ruin your stencil when you're trying to get it off again. I am using baby wipes for this, as well as for cleaning my stamps, because I think a special stamp cleaner is not always necessary. But now it's time to care about the front of the card. I am using a small card from a stamp set called Sommerwind, which I found in a small shop in the Netherlands. I stamp it with Night of Navy by Stampin' Up on white cardstock. And to color it now, I'm using my Prismacolor pencils. These are high quality pencils with a higher percentage of oil than other pencils have. That's why they run very smoothly across the paper, and you can create all shades by simply controlling the pressure. Even if the camera is unfortunately not that close, you can see that I do not color the card that intensive. This is because I will blend it with an odorless solvent called Diluent N, which is a European version of Gamsol that you can buy in the US. I am applying this with paper stumps in various sizes directly from the bottle. The solvent perfectly blends the colors into each other. To color the windows of the car, I only took a little bit of black from the tires. This will be enough to give the windows a light gray without using extra color. Afterwards, I'm fuzzy cutting the car, leaving a small white edge. For the sentiment, I'm using the Clearstamp designer alphabet by Hero Arts. To find the right place, I'm positioning all the pieces on the card and move them around until I like what I see. Then I simply pick them up with an acrylic block and stamp the missing letters in a second and third round. Unfortunately, the gesso background takes away some of the black of the ink, but this can be easily fixed with a black felt marker. To give the car a little bit of dimension, I used foam tape to stick it onto the card. Even I cannot fully stand away from glitter, so I gave the letters and the tires some highlights with silver stickles. Some jewels fill in the gap on the left side. And finally some fabric band on the bottom. To fix it without using glue, I cut a slot into the spine of the card and run the band and a piece of cord through it. Both parts will be tied with a bow and will stay in place without a single drop of glue. And like so often, I could not stand away from giving some shimmer to the card with my Wink of Stella glitter pen. I have chosen the windows of the car for this, and I afterwards covered them with glossy accents. That gives the shimmer a final boost. And this finishes the card for today. I hope you had fun and got inspired. And if you did, I would love to get a thumbs up. And if you want to see even more, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to tune in for the next mini album upcoming next week. Take care and bye bye!